My girlfriend expected me to read her mind. A real boyfriend would just know what I need. After 3 years of this, I said, "You're right." Then I gave her a breakup letter. I finally knew exactly what she needed: freedom. When she realized I'd stopped playing the guessing game, I, 27 male, have been sitting on this for about a week now, and I think I'm finally ready to share what happened. Buckle up, because this one's a doozy. Quick context: I was with my girlfriend for 3 years. 3 years of walking on eggshells, second-guessing every decision, and apparently failing some cosmic boyfriend test I didn't know I was taking. She was beautiful, smart, came from a good family. On paper, perfect. In reality, I was dating a mind reader, or rather, someone who expected me to be one. It started small. Year 1, we're at a restaurant. She orders a salad, I order a burger. My burger comes out looking amazing. She stares at it. Her, nothing. "You sure? You keep looking at my plate." Sighs dramatically. "If you don't know, I'm not going to tell you." Spoiler, she wanted some of my fries, but I was supposed to know that without her saying it. When I finally offered, she said, "It's too late now, the moment's past." I thought it was a quirk. Cute, even. I was an idiot. Year 2, things escalated. Every interaction became a test I didn't study for. Her birthday. I got her a really nice necklace, the exact one she'd pointed out at the mall 2 weeks earlier. Wrong move. A real boyfriend would have picked something himself, not just gotten what I showed him. It's about the thought. Valentine's Day. I planned a surprise dinner at her favorite Italian place. Wrong again. You should have known I wanted something more intimate, not a crowded restaurant. Our anniversary. I asked her what she wanted to do. Huge mistake. If I have to tell you, it doesn't count. You should just know after 2 years. By year 3, I was exhausted. Every conversation felt like defusing a bomb while blindfolded. Her favorite phrase became, "A real boyfriend would just know what I need." I heard that phrase probably 3 times a week, at minimum. Last month was the breaking point. We were planning a weekend trip, or rather, I was trying to plan one while she refused to give any input because I should know what she wants by now. Me, beach or mountains, just give me a direction here. Her, I shouldn't have to. 3 years together and you still don't understand me? I understand you fine, I just want to make sure we both enjoy this. This is the problem. You don't pay attention. You don't care enough to just know. I sat there staring at her and something just clicked off, like a light switch. 3 years of trying to read a book with blank pages. 3 years of being wrong no matter what I did. I said quietly, "You're right." She blinked, surprised. Usually I'd argue, try to explain, apologize. Not this time. "You're absolutely right," I continued. "I should just know." She looked suspicious but also a little smug. "Finally, thank you for admitting, and I finally do know something. I know exactly what you need." I stood up, went to my desk, and pulled out a letter I'd written 2 nights before during one of her silent treatments. She was mad I'd bought the wrong brand of coffee creamer. I should have known she'd switched preferences. I handed it to her. "What's this?" she asked. "What you need. Freedom. From a boyfriend who can never get it right." The letter was simple. 3 paragraphs. No drama, no blame, just facts. We weren't compatible. I couldn't be the mind reader she needed. I wished her well, finding someone who could meet her expectations, because I clearly couldn't. She read it again. Then looked up at me with this expression I'd never seen before. Genuine shock. "You're breaking up with me? In a letter?" I figured you'd want me to just know this was the right way to do it. No need to discuss. A real boyfriend would just know, right? She started crying. "You can't be serious over something this small." "It's not small. It's 3 years of never being good enough no matter how hard I try. I'm done guessing." I grabbed my jacket and left. Stayed at my buddy's place that night. Thought that was the end of it. It was just the beginning. Update 1 week later. So the fallout from the breakup letter has been something else. First 48 hours were relatively quiet. She texted a few times, ranging from, "We need to talk," to, "You're being dramatic," to, "I can't believe you're throwing away 3 years over nothing." I didn't respond to any of them. Then her mom called me. Her mom has always liked me. Saw me as the stable one who'd eventually propose and give her grandkids. So when she called, I actually answered. "Sweetie, what's going on? My daughter's a mess." With respect, I think you should talk to her about that. She says you broke up with her over a coffee creamer? I almost laughed. Of course that's how she framed it. That's not accurate. It was 3 years of being expected to read her mind and being punished when I couldn't. Oh, honey, that's just how she is. You know women, we want our men to pay attention. There's a difference between paying attention and being psychic. I tried. For 3 years, I'm done. She tried the guilt approach. Her father and I have been married for 30 years. You think I haven't had to train him? That's what relationships are. Training implies someone tells you what to do. She never told me anything. Just got mad when I didn't magically know. Well, maybe if you'd tried harder? Goodbye. Please don't call again. Thought that was bad. Day 4, her sister shows up at my apartment. I'd moved back in since it was my lease, and my ex had gone to stay with a friend. Her sister is intense. Picture someone who peaked in high school cheerleading and never quite accepted it. She barged past me when I opened the door. We need to talk about what you're doing to my sister. I'm not doing anything to her. I ended a relationship. With a letter? Do you have any idea how humiliating that is? Should I have just known the right way to do it? Because that was kind of the point. She didn't appreciate the joke. You're ruining her life. She's been crying for days. She can't eat. She can't sleep. That's unfortunate, but it's not my responsibility anymore. She loved you. She was going to say yes when you proposed. I stared at her. I was never going to propose. Her face went white. What? I realized about 6 months ago that I couldn't marry someone who made me feel a constant disappointment. The only reason I stayed this long was because I kept hoping things would change. They didn't. You led her on for 6 months? No, I tried for 6 months to make it work. There's a difference. She stormed out, calling me every name in the book. Heartless was the nicest one. But here's where it gets interesting. Day 6, I get a call from my landlord. Apparently my ex had called him claiming I'd illegally evicted her from the apartment. She wanted him to let her back in while I was at work. Lucky for me, my landlord is a stand-up guy. He pulled the lease. Son, her name ain't on here. She's got no claim. I told her to take it up with you or the police. And if the police come, I'll show them the same paperwork. You're good. She actually did call the cops. 2 officers showed up at my door that evening. Explained the situation calmly, showed them the lease, showed them texts proving she'd left voluntarily to stay with a friend, and pointed out she'd never paid rent or been added to the lease in 3 years. The older cop nodded. Sir, this is a civil matter. She can come get her belongings with your agreement, but she has no legal right to the residence. The younger cop looked a little more sympathetic to her. She was outside in the hallway doing her best victim performance, but even he couldn't argue with paperwork. She had to schedule a time to pick up her stuff. I gave her 2 options: Saturday between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., or Sunday same times. She wanted to come at 9 p.m. on a weekday, because that works best for her. I should have known that, apparently. I said no, weekend only. She could bring people to help, but I'd be there the entire time. My apartment, my rules. She chose Sunday. I spent Saturday packing her things into boxes, found some stuff I'd forgotten about, clothes she'd left, books, her extensive skincare collection that took up half my bathroom counter. Boxed it all. Then I found the journal. It was wedged behind the nightstand, must have fallen. Normally I wouldn't read someone's private journal, but curiosity got me, especially after a page fell open to an entry from about a year ago. What I read made my blood run cold. He didn't get me anything for our 2-year anniversary. Well, he got me flowers and took me to dinner, but nothing real. I tested him. Didn't tell him what I wanted, waited to see if he'd figure it out. He didn't. Mom says I need to be more direct, but I think if he really loved me, he wouldn't need directions. My friend at work agrees. She says her boyfriend always knows what she wants. I think she's lying, but it sounds nice. I'm gonna keep testing him. If he passes, I'll know he's the one. If he fails, well, that tells me everything I need to know. She was literally testing me. For 3 years, every interaction was an exam I was designed to fail. I put the journal in the box with her other stuff, didn't mention it, but I knew I'd made the right call. Sunday was going to be interesting. Update 2, the pickup day. Sunday, 10 a.m. sharp. I'd slept terribly but was ready. She showed up with an entourage. Her mom, her sister, and some guy I'd never seen before. Tall, well-dressed, smug expression. I later learned he was her work friend, the one whose boyfriend supposedly always knew what she wanted. Turns out he wasn't a work friend, but we'll get to that. I opened the door, but kept my foot behind it. You can come in, they wait in the hallway. Her mom immediately started, "This is ridiculous. We're here to help." "I'm sure you are, but this is my apartment, and I'm not comfortable with a group of people I didn't invite." She comes in, gets her stuff, and leaves. My ex rolled her eyes. "You're being so petty." "I'm being practical." 15 minutes. Everything's in boxes by the door. The guy spoke up. "Bro, just let us help carry things. We're not gonna steal anything. I don't know you, and I'm not your bro." He smirked. "She said you were like this." "Like what? Reasonable?" My ex put her hand on his arm, in front of me. "It's fine. I'll handle it." She came in. I'd stacked the boxes near the entrance, clearly organized. She immediately started going through them. "Where's my blue sweater?" "It's in the second box." I labeled everything. "I don't see my hairdryer." "Third box, bottom left, it's in a plastic bag." "What about my—" "If you'd actually look through the boxes, you'd find everything." I was thorough. She made a show of opening every single box, inspecting contents like I'd somehow sabotaged her belongings. Every few seconds she'd look up at me with this wounded expression. Classic. Then she found the journal. Her face went pale. She glanced at me, then back at the journal, then at me again. "Did you read this?" "It fell open. I saw enough." "That's private. You left it in my apartment, in my bedroom, for a year." Her sister appeared in the doorway. "Everything okay?" My ex shoved the journal in her purse. "Fine, let's just go." But she wasn't done. Never was. "I want the TV." I looked at her. "Excuse me?" "The TV in the living room. I helped pay for it." "You helped pay by buying pizza the night I purchased it with my credit card. That's not how ownership works." "I have receipts. We were a couple. Everything was shared." "Show me the receipts for the TV. Your name, your payment." She couldn't, because there weren't any. Her mom tried next. "Morally, she contributed to this household. She deserves something. She lived here rent-free for 2.5 years. I'd say she got plenty." The guy in the hallway laughed. Actually laughed. "Damn, she told me you were a pushover. This is disappointing." My ex shot him a look that could kill. "Shut up." And there it was, the mask slipping. I looked at him, then at her. "Is this why you're so eager to leave? Got your next chapter already lined up?" "That's not. We're just friends." "Right? Friends who touch each other's arms and show up together at 10 a.m. on a Sunday." The guy shrugged. "We've been talking for a few months. She said you were basically over anyway." Her face went from pale to red. "Can we not do this right now?" Her sister's jaw dropped. "Wait, you and him? Since when?" "It's not like that." I held up my hand. "I genuinely don't care. Take your stuff and leave. We're done here." But of course there was more drama. There's always more drama. As they were loading boxes into his car, oh yeah, she'd brought her new guy's car to move out of her old boyfriend's apartment. My neighbor came out to grab his mail. He's an older guy, retired, knows everyone's business because he's always on his porch. Sweet man, always gave me good advice about life. He looked at the scene, my ex crying, performance tears by this point. Her mom glaring at me, her sister looking confused, and some random dude loading boxes. "Everything all right?" he asked me. "Just fine. Breakup stuff." He nodded sagely. "Saw this coming. Good for you, son." My ex's mom. "Excuse me? Who are you?" He looked at her calmly. "I'm the neighbor who heard her screaming at him through the walls for 3 years about things that didn't make any sense. He's a patient man. Glad he finally figured it out." I could have kissed that old man. They left. I thought it was over. It was not over. Update 3. 2 weeks later, final update. 2 weeks of relative peace. Then she struck again, but not in the way I expected. I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. "Hey, this is her friend's name. We need to talk about what you did to her." I didn't respond. Blocked the number. Got another text from a different number. "She's telling everyone you were emotionally abusive. You should know." That one I kept. Screenshot. Saved. Then my mom called me. My mom. "Honey, did something happen with your girlfriend?" Ex-girlfriend. "And yes, I broke up with her about 3 weeks ago." Pause. Her mother called me. "She what?" "Said you'd been cruel. Said you threw her out with nothing. Said you humiliated her in front of family. I was shaking. Literally shaking. The audacity of going to my mother. Mom, none of that is true. She lived in my apartment rent-free for years. I packed her things carefully. She brought people to help move, including the guy she's apparently been seeing for months. I figured it was nonsense. You're not a cruel person. But I wanted you to hear it from me that they're talking. Let them talk. I have documentation of everything. Documentation? Texts, photos of the packed boxes, my landlord's statement, the police report from when she tried to claim I illegally evicted her. I'm covered. My mom was quiet for a moment. Then, good boy. I raised you right. But here's where the karma comes in. Remember the guy? The work friend with the car? Turns out he wasn't just a work friend. He was a work colleague, as in, same department, same team. And their company has a strict policy about relationships between team members requiring disclosure to HR. Neither of them had disclosed. How do I know this? Because her sister, yeah, the one who stormed into my apartment, actually reached out to me. Apparently she'd been feeling guilty about the whole situation. The journal thing had been bothering her. She asked what I'd read. I told her. The testing. The deliberate exams designed for me to fail. She went quiet. Then she said, she does that with everyone. Tested me, tested our parents, tested friends. Most people eventually snap at her. You lasted longer than anyone. Great, so I won a prize for tolerating manipulation the longest. I'm not excusing it. I'm sorry. I didn't know it was that bad. Then she dropped the real news. My ex and her new guy had been caught at work. Not romantically, that would have been too simple. No, they'd been caught fudging expense reports, using company cards for personal dinners and labeling them as client meetings. When HR started investigating the financial stuff, the relationship came out too. Company policy requires disclosure. Neither had disclosed. Both were now on administrative leave pending review. I didn't gloat. I genuinely didn't. But I'd be lying if I said there wasn't some satisfaction in knowing that her pattern of deception extended beyond just me. But here's the part that really got me. Her sister told me that after the HR investigation started, my ex had tried to blame it on the guy, said he had been the one doing the expense fraud, and she was just a victim who didn't know what was happening. She tried to throw him under the bus to save herself. He didn't take it well. He showed HR the text messages between them, where she had been the one suggesting which dinners to expense, which receipts to fake. Both of them are probably getting fired. Neither can use the other as a reference. And their relationship is apparently already falling apart under the pressure. Meanwhile, I'm here, in my apartment, watching whatever I want on my TV that I paid for, eating whatever coffee creamer I prefer, not walking on eggshells, not trying to pass invisible tests. Last week I ran into my old neighbor, the one who'd witnessed the move-out drama. He invited me over for a beer on his porch. You look better, he said. I feel better. You know what my late wife used to say? A good partner tells you what they need. A bad partner punishes you for not guessing. I raised my beer to that. Do I miss her? Sometimes. Not the real her. The version of her I thought existed when we first started dating. The one who laughed at my jokes and seemed to appreciate my effort. But that person was never really there. It was just the version she showed me before the testing started. I'm not dating anyone right now. Probably won't for a while. My therapist, yeah, I finally started seeing one, says I need to work on recognizing red flags earlier. Apparently, the "if you really loved me, you'd just know" thing is textbook emotional manipulation. Who knew? Well, everyone except me, apparently. My ex has tried to contact me twice since the HR thing exploded. Once through her sister, who refused to pass along the message, once through a social media DM from a burner account. Both messages were variations of, "This is all your fault." I didn't respond to either. Here's my takeaway. You can't win a game where the rules are hidden and change every time you play. You can only choose to stop playing. I finally knew exactly what she needed. She needed someone to stop enabling her tests and her tantrums and her expectation that love means mind reading. She needed freedom. And honestly, so did I. Thanks for reading. Time to go live my life without a scorecard I never asked for. Peace out, Reddit.